Welcome to today's news roundup, where we break down the biggest stories from across the globe and the United States. We've got a lot to cover today, from controversial proposals and major corporate battles to security challenges and international tensions. Let's dive right in. We start with President Donald Trump's controversial new plan for Gaza. In a recent interview with Fox News, Trump confirmed that Palestinians would not be allowed to return to Gaza under his proposal. Instead, he envisions relocating them to newly built communities outside the war-torn territory. Trump described his vision as a real estate development for the future, calling it a long-term project to transform Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East. This plan, which would see Palestinians resettled with better housing and safer areas, has sparked criticism. Leaders in Jordan and Egypt have strongly opposed the idea, warning that it could destabilize the region and violate Palestinian rights. In fact, Egypt has called for an emergency Arab summit to discuss these developments, while Hamas officials have condemned Trump's proposal, calling it absurd. This controversy only adds to the ongoing tensions surrounding the future of Gaza and the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Switching gears to tech, Elon Musk is at the center of a major corporate battle. Musk, along with a group of investors, has made a $97.4 billion offer to take control of OpenAI, the company he co-founded in 2015. This bid comes after Musk's lawsuit against OpenAI, accusing the company of abandoning its original nonprofit mission and becoming too focused on profit. The offer has escalated tensions between Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, with Musk advocating for OpenAI to return to its open-source roots. In response, Altman rejected the bid and made a cheeky counteroffer on X, saying, "No thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion if you want." This battle highlights the growing divide in the AI industry, as Musk's AI company, xAI, could merge with OpenAI if the deal moves forward. Meanwhile, SoftBank is pushing a separate effort to raise funds for OpenAI, potentially increasing its valuation to $300 billion. In U.S. trade news, President Trump has announced a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports, including those from Canada and Mexico. This move aims to bolster U.S. steel companies, with stocks for Cleveland-Cliffs, U.S. Steel, Nucor, and Steel Dynamics seeing a rise in pre-market trading. Trump's decision also includes a warning of reciprocal tariffs targeting countries that impose high duties on U.S. goods. This has already caused waves in global markets, with South Korea particularly concerned about the impact on its steel industry. This new round of tariffs raises questions about the long-term effects on trade relationships, inflation, and the broader economy. Turning to Latin America, El Salvador's Navy has made a significant drug bust, intercepting a shipment of more than 1.5 tons of cocaine valued at $39 million. The cocaine was destined for the U.S., smuggled through Mexico. This operation is part of El Salvador's broader crackdown on drug trafficking, with the country having seized a staggering 18.4 tons of cocaine in 2024 alone. The seizure is a major win in the fight against international drug cartels, but it also highlights the ongoing challenges faced by countries in Central America as they confront transnational crime. In U.S. immigration news, a federal judge has temporarily blocked the Pentagon from transferring 3 Venezuelan illegal immigrants to Guantanamo Bay. These individuals, detained in New Mexico, face potential indefinite detention at the controversial base. The move had been part of President Trump's broader plan to use Guantanamo as a detention facility for individuals deemed too dangerous for deportation or those with criminal ties. Critics argue that this decision would violate due process and create a legal black hole for asylum seekers. Meanwhile, the government defends the transfer, citing national security concerns. The case has sparked a debate over immigration policy, human rights, and the future of Guantanamo Bay as a detention facility. Now let's head to the front lines of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Russian officials have confirmed that the military is using animals, specifically donkeys and camels, to transport ammunition and supplies to frontline troops. This unconventional approach comes amid logistical challenges and drone threats that have made traditional supply routes difficult. Some soldiers have expressed frustration over the situation, with one soldier even stating that his unit received donkeys instead of military vehicles. While the use of pack animals may seem out of place in modern warfare, Russian State Duma member Viktor Sobolev defended the practice, calling it a necessary response to supply shortages. He emphasized that using animals for transportation could save lives, especially in dangerous regions where vehicle convoys are at risk. It's a surprising turn in a war that has already seen significant innovation and adaptation in military strategies. Back to U.S. politics, President Trump has removed David Huitema from his position as director of the Office of Government Ethics. Huitema, appointed by former President Biden, had only been in the role for a few months. The Office of Government Ethics, which oversees ethics rules and financial disclosures for government officials, is now being led by acting director Shelley Finlayson. This move follows Trump's recent firings of other inspectors general from various agencies, a controversial tactic that has raised concerns over the independence of oversight bodies. In the Middle East, Hamas has announced it is suspending the release of hostages, citing Israeli violations of a ceasefire agreement. According to the Al-Qassam brigades, Israel has delayed the return of displaced Palestinians and restricted the flow of relief supplies into Gaza. Israel's defense minister has condemned Hamas's decision, calling it a breach of the ceasefire. The situation in Gaza remains dire, with both sides accusing the other of failing to uphold agreements and escalating tensions in an already volatile region. Finally, in U.S. government news, President Trump is set to sign an executive order instructing the Department of Justice to pause prosecutions of Americans accused of bribing foreign government officials. The order seeks to level the playing field for U.S. businesses in global markets, as foreign competitors may not face the same anti-bribery enforcement. The executive order has drawn mixed reactions, with critics warning that it could undermine efforts to combat corruption, while supporters argue it's necessary to maintain economic competitiveness. And that wraps up today's news roundup. From Trump's controversial proposals on Gaza and immigration to corporate power plays in the world of AI, there's no shortage of significant developments. As always, we'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest updates as they unfold. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with more news you need to know.